it was right after 401 Box Cutter, and they called me and he said he wanted to talk to me. And he kept getting up from behind his desk to come around and close the door, and I would stop him and I said, Vince, don't close the door. And he would, and he sat back down and we'd chat a little longer. And then he'd get up again. I said, I told you, Vince, don't close the door. And he sat back down and he started to get really nervous because I Gus Fringed him. And so it happened a third time. And I said, Vince, do not close the door. I told you twice. I'll close the door. And then he relaxed and I closed the door and he said, the town isn't big enough for both of you and Gustavo's got to go to continue our story. And he asked me, how do you think that would play out? And we talked about it. And I said, well, Vince, Gus has been, he faced down a hail of bullets. He walks right into the maelstrom. So he can't get shot. And so Vince said, well, what if there was an explosion? What might he be doing? And I said, well, look, when I stand up, I button my jacket. I'm very proper as Gustavo Fring. When I sit down, I unbutton it. I straighten my tie. And he went, oh, straightening your tie. And I said, yes, you've seen me do it 1,000 times on camera. I feel like what I do is to be inspired by what the writer writes. And if you're paying attention, it's all there. It's a matter of that inspiration coming to me and then me extending it so that I inspire the writers during a show to write to me. It's like a natural process to me, and it's not forced. So he gasped when I said straightening my tie. And then at that point in time, when I got the episode, it was all blacked out because they didn't want anyone to see or get the script and see what actually happened. I knew it was possibly going to be an explosion, and that's what would happen. And I knew that he liked the tie piece. So on the day when I eventually knew what was going on and they revealed it to me, I said, this is exactly the move I should be making. That was an arduous day. I went through a 4.5-hour makeup. So I had already been in a body cast, of sort of a head cast, for 2 hours to make a bust of me, to be able to then put the prosthetic on the bust. And then on the day, Howard Berger from K&N, Greg Nicotero's partner, Greg did the Walking Dead, came in and applied the prosthetic to my face. So that took hours and hours, 4.5 hours. And then my face was like that, and we shot it, and then they digitized, took a Sharpie, and they dotted the inside of my jaw, and then eventually they went back and digitized it for that last little beat where you see my jaw moving. And other than that, it was a matter of working out the timing on the day of the explosion, of walking out, of the nurses coming down the hall, which didn't quite work. And Vince came to me on the 10th take and said, something is not working. And he said, it has to do with the reaction to the people in the hallway. And so I suggested that they were coming too close to me because they were extras, their reaction was too big. I said, just have them be further away and have them react with their eyes without saying anything from further away, and we as an audience will get that they're shocked and stunned and have them turn around and run away. And Vince was like, oh my goodness, thank you so much. And then the scene started to work. We did that particular take 19 times, where I just fell out of camera and I was gone. So it was an interesting way of going out, and obviously an iconic ending for What a Villain.
It was unbelievable. We love it, don't we?